What? I don't. I don't get. Oh shit, man. Fuck it. I'm going. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's doing great out there on this beautiful Wednesday. No, not at all. It is cold, like in the 30s, like low 30s cold, like freezing cold. And we're supposed to get they're talking about snow, getting some damn snow here on Sunday, which ironically my days off are Sunday and Monday, so I won't be able to do shit. And I hate being in the house. Hate it, hate it, hate it. But anyway, guys, what is up, everybody? Shit, today we gotta talk about some subwoofers and amplifiers. And it's a question that I get sent to me on every social media. They even be hitting up my grinder like, what amp should I get for these? And my tender, and every thing I got. No, grinder. But anyway, guys, yeah, man. What amp should I put on these subs? Wow, that's a broad question, and it's one that's almost impossible to answer. I mean, you can give a base answer, It's like, say that yesterday somebody messaged me and they're like, I have 2 Sundown X10s. What amp should I get? I recommended a 5K. I just said 5K. I didn't say like smart 5K, which honestly is probably what I would choose. Just because it's really hard to beat that Smart 5. I know everybody want to talk shit on Tar amps. It's like Tar amps this, Tar amps that. Dude, that Smart 3 and Smart 5 are killing the game, though. I mean, for the budget, dude, it's like one of the best amps you can get. And from what I have seen, they are pretty damn solid amps. If in all scenarios, really. Even if you don't have proper voltage or electrical for that amp, that bitch would turn itself off. Me and my buddy Billy put one in the car on New Year's Day, and we were setting the gain on it. And, the Tar amps, even my damn Koreans, the gain touchy, Tar amps pretty bad about being touchy, though. So you be bumping the gain up, and, you get it straight into, like, clip protect light. And, most amps, you kind of have to turn the N-dash off, turn it back on. Not the Smart amp. Hell no. You turn the gain down, that some bitch reset itself. So I really was impressed with that because we put it in the car with a line output converter. So you had to shut the whole damn car off because we didn't, where we wound up having to hook the remote turn-on wire, the whole car had to shut off. But no, that damn thing just reset itself. So anyway, enough talking about amps, really. We're talking about subwoofers and amps. So, the thing is, if you're going to message me and say, hey, I got the X10s and what amp should I run? Even recommending a Smart 5 or a 5K wasn't really a proper thing to do. I was like, damn, I'd put a 5K on him. But what if he's got them 10s in like 2.5 or 3 cubes each? Ported or sealed, then you might want to recommend a 1200 watt amp because they're in way too much airspace. So airspace definitely plays a part in this. If they're in proper airspace, you get pretty decent power on them because we all know that they handle way more power than they're rated for. But if they're in way too much airspace, then they're not going to handle a whole lot of power at all. But on the flip side of that, what if they're in too little? Then you could actually recommend more amp if they're in a little undersized, That's just how all this works. So, and as a rule of thumb, I used to tell people, if you have a sub that's rated for 1500 and you're going to run a pair of them, you're looking around 6,000-7,000 watts because you always want to go double the RMS on them. It's a general rule of thumb because of impedance rise, or what some people refer to as box rise. It's just a good rule of thumb, you know. That's what a guy would recommend. Bam. Double RMS all the time to compensate for impedance rise. But that don't always play out because, as we just discussed, enclosure plays a huge part of that. Like in here, these G2 Genesis, I believe them bad boys are rated for 1200 RMS. I have an 8K on each at a half ohm. I mean, they are seeing like 3-4 times RMS on music, and they are doing fine. And I'm gonna sound dumb, but I didn't look at no paper. I don't even know what they recommend for these for airspace. I kind of have a center line rule here that I'll put a subwoofer in, you know, and for 15, I love 3 cubes for a 15. Works perfect. Any sub. Swap subs in here all day. It don't matter what kind of sub it is, you know, what brand. If it's a 15, it's going to work in here. Or I think it will. I hope. Yeah, probably not. But anyway, these are rated at 1200, and I got them on way, way more power than they are rated for. And I just told you, each one's in 3, you know. I don't know what that woofer recommends. I never looked at the paper. You know, Paul was like, Genesis, let's throw them in there and see what they do. Yeah. They do great. Love them. Super efficient. But anyway, that's why it's so hard for me to pick an amp for you, you know. I don't know what airspace you're running. I don't know what the sub's RMS is, and when a company rates a subwoofer RMS, are they rating it like Paul and Sundown, where it's kind of a joke number because it'll take way more? And I understand why companies do that. It's like Paul and Jacob are like, hey, you know, we got a 3K woofer here. Yeah, rate that bitch at 15. Be rated at 1500 because they know people are going to do dumb shit, you know. They might take a damn 12 and put it in like 5 cubes ported. So, of course, it's going to cut the power handling down, and, you know, it might cut it down to 12 or 1500 RMS. So, yeah, they're doing that to cover their ass. But then on the other end of the spectrum, and I know some of you companies love this brand, but, I mean, they even did a video themselves, like, proving their subs don't handle rated power, and that is Rockville. You know, I don't know all subs and how they handle power according to rating. Rockville is one of them companies that, you know, I think they put like 2000 or whatever RMS on their subs, and, you know, about 25 seconds into some music at that power level, they decide to slinky the coils. So right there, you know, you have one sub that does way more than rated and handles it all day in a proper enclosure, and you have a sub that it gives up. It's like, hell no, we out of here, guys. The coils have left the building, or the gap. Anyway, so that is what makes it really hard. Do your research on your subs, guys. Like, I picked some subs for the Blazer. You guys know me. I don't like mainstream. I don't. That's why I'm taking the Prides out of the Blazer, because Pride has pretty much become mainstream now. Hell, we got like 8 dealers in the USA now. Yeah, most of them are dealing out of their basement, but still. So many people are getting them, it ain't fun anymore. And, you know, I looked around and I talked things over with Paul at G2. I'm like, what do you got here that ain't mainstream? And we picked Synergy. Y'all know Synergy makes amps that are badass. I mean, their amps are beast. I mean, I think there's been people clamping like 15K out of their 8K. But, yeah, they make badass Korean SNI build house, which is like the best build house that built my 8Ks I have in here. SNI is the shit, but them Synergy amps be kicking ass. But not a lot of people are checking out the Synergy line of subwoofers. So, oh, Jerry here, check it out. And I just kind of did a quick glance at the specs. This motherfucker, Synergy, he don't just like tell you subwoofer weight. Hell no. Nope. In the specs, he actually lists motor weight for a 15. It was like 78 damn pounds. A 78-pound motor. God. And I think they have a pretty low RMS rating as well. But, I mean, from what I've seen, they do way, way, way more than rated. So, and y'all know I'm already going to stick an 8K on each one at a half ohm. Because after having the amp strapped in here, I'm like, Paul, let's go ahead and do some D4s. Where I can strap a pair of amplifiers together and bloop, bloop, half ohm per. But yeah, that I got a new port for the Blazer. If you watch my channel, you've seen it. It's in the back of my Jeep. But, you know, I just kind of went around to my friends. I'm like, hey, who got an 8-inch port laying around? And lo and behold, somebody had one. So we're getting ready to do some big changes in the old Blazer. Not for a while, though, because it's cold as a motherfucker out here, guys. And Jerry don't like the cold. Nope. Sure don't. Hate it. But we're going to make the Blazer badass. Yeah, probably not. But no, I'm hoping to make the Blazer badass, man. I've been putting in work and thought, and, you know, the way things play in there is kind of crazy. But back to choosing an amplifier for your sub, there's just so many variables to look at. And as we've discussed, you have two ends of the spectrum on sub ratings. Subs that are rated under what they're capable of and subs that are rated over. I don't know of very many subs except for American Bass is pretty spot on with their ratings. And I say that from experience, you know. No, they were actually overrated too. I was clamping about 3K per XFL 15 when I slinkied the coils. And I gave like 20 demos that day full tilting it. And I mean, they were to the point where I had an 8K per pair at a half ohm. MD 8K. And even though they were set clean, it was just way too much power for the XFLs. And 15 seconds into a song, no clip lights flashing in the dash. I had the monitors on them. That they would start stinking. And I was giving hair trick after hair trick after hair trick. So they were getting like double rated, and I slinky the coil. But that was double what they're rated. Rockville, you can go up to what they're rated, and they'll slinky a coil. So subwoofer ratings are all over the place. You really kind of need to know the woofer, have friends that know the woofer, and pick an amp. And then that's where another slippery slope comes in, because if I tell you, hey, on that 15, get a 4K. Well, you can get a Synergy 4K, Assault 4K, you know. Those are going to do like more than rated. A Bass 3K, which is going to be up there putting out more power than the Assault 4. Or you can get a Boss 4K. That's gonna put out 900 watts. So see, it's hard to pick an amp for you guys. It's hard to pick anything for you guys. Do your homework on this stuff. That's what I recommend. I do my homework. You know, I kind of stay reading in groups, and I know half of that, most of it, most all of it, but some of it ain't bullshit, you know. I like watching amp dyno videos and see what amps are out there doing work and which ones aren't and all that. So kind of get an idea of the quality of equipment that you're getting when you get it. Anyway, guys, I've been rambling on in this damn video. But if you do like my videos, and I'm trying to make better content to where I start testing shit, and when warm weather hits, we're going to be building shit. But I do have a Patreon link in here. If you ain't got nothing better to do, support my Patreon. Hell, I don't know. But anyway, guys, have a great day. Peace out, guys. And as always, everybody stole this from me, but bass on.